Hello and welcome crochet friends to some more crochet adventures. This is G Crochet Off the Hook. I'm Geraldine, sharing my love of crochet. And I realized this week that my inexperienced YouTube journey is 6 months strong. And I also believe that we have 100 subscribers. And that's all of you. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you joining me on this crochet journey. So let's hook into what's off the hook for the last few weeks. And I'm going to start with a challenge that I set myself, which was not being intimidated by the yarns that are in my yarn tubs. And I started with grabbing myself this big skein of yarn. It is a Kismet's Cascade Bulky. It has 180 meters. It's a 300 gram ball and it's 100% polyester. The recommendation on here is an 8 millimeter hook, but we know that I was going to dig into this and try to make some plushies. So the next thing I set about was digging into my pattern stash, and I really didn't know how many Ammies I'd be able to make from just this one ball. So I decided to start with something large and then see what was left as I went. And the first thing that I picked up was this Ruby Ray, the Mega Ray. It's a pattern by Theresa's Crochet Shop. I actually think sometimes a lot of the patterns that I have even become either free patterns or free tutorials along the way. I do normally have my eye on something, but don't always make it immediately. So this was from my stash. So I started with Ruby Ray, and the other thing I want to mention before I show you the makes is that this particular colorway is Cornwall. Is it? Yes, cornflower. Sorry, cornflower. This particular one is shades of yellow. It starts very dark in the middle with the yellow, and it fades out to a very light lemon yellow. And the one that I used was called Purple Haze, and it starts very dark with the purple in the center and then fades out to like a light lilac. So keeping that in mind, when I grabbed the Ruby Ray, I started on the outside, and here is the Ruby Ray. I started the ball on the outside and used the light lilac-y color to make the underbelly. I used a 5.5 millimeter hook for this project, and then I pulled from the center to make the top side. This particular piece, you make a bottom side and a top side, and then you crochet it together all along the sides. You only stuff the middle, and then you add on a few sprinkles, which I did with the lighter bits that were left from here. And I think it was quite successful. That is starting from the outside of this particular colorway, which was Purple Haze, and then the top section with the darker color, which was this purple color on the top. And so the first make was a success. You can see actually on the sides how all the purple, the dark of the purple had gone by the time I had to join it, but I think it turned out fine because the color is coming from one particular place, so it sort of just merged into each other. So that was the first make from this 180 meter ball. And I did write down this was 46 centimeters from tip to tip and 31 centimeters in length to here. I didn't measure the tail. So great, that was the first one off the hook. And I think with this pattern, you also got Rory the Plush Ray. Also Theresa's crochet shop. So I decided to do a little Rory. And there was only really a tiny bit, just enough to get this bottom piece done. And you can see that it was the lighter shade of the purple from the top, because the darker had now by this time completely faded. And we managed to get Rory the Plush Ray still from just this one big ball of yarn. And this little one is 17 centimeters in width from tip to tip and 15 from there to there. I didn't include the little tail. So again, 2 pieces crocheted separately and then crocheted together. So we have the Amigurumi, already forgot the name. This is Ruby Ray, and then Rory Plush. But there was still some yarn left. So I thought, okay, how do we figure out what else can we make from this? And I had also tucked away, which I hadn't quite gotten into yet, was, I believe this is Handmade by Annie. This is an Anniecarraway pattern that I had, and this one is for cute Kitten Plushies, and it was an 8-in-1. So I decided to see, could I get a couple of kittens out of this, still working from the same 180 meters, and we were successful. So I made the solid color kitten, and I have not yet embroidered their eyes. I just have a pin placed there for where it should go. And again, you can perhaps just see how the color is fading still from no dark left now, sort of the medium color all the way to the lighter color. So we got one kitten made, and we got a mini kitten. So I can officially say, I think this is my second and third loaf cap that I have made. And again, I need to embroider their little eyes on. And this one you can see is even lighter and lighter as I was using up all the yarn. And I don't even have one strand to show you from what's left of this, because after all the ends were weaved in, there was no more left. So from a 300-gram ball, 180 meters of the Cascades Kismet Bulky, I used the colorway Purple Haze, we were able to get one Amigurumi, one Plush Ray, a kitten. We know I'm not going to hold this all in one hand, and a mini kitten. So that is what I was able to complete with one big ball of the Cascade. And I'm rather thrilled to know that, because my husband has recently stocked me up with another Purple Haze, and there was a blue color, and I have one other. So I have 3 more of these, and depending what plushie patterns I pull, I think I'm going to have a lot of fun getting more than one make out of this wonderful big ball of bulky yarn. So there we go. I got patterns printed out of the stash and made up, and I'm very happy with how they turned out. And a new yarn has now become a yarn that I have worked with, and I can't wait to use it again. And P.S. for any of my South African friends, this was surprisingly no shading, and I can do my normal double magic ring with this, and it worked perfectly. So I'm excited about more of these. Moving on to the next. What did we make next? Oh, on Instagram, it is a free pattern by Hugurumitoys. There was a duck pattern, and I grabbed some of my Elise Voluto, and I made this adorable little duck. It really does work up very quickly. I hope to make some more of them, and the shape is absolutely adorable. And my other ducks, other rubber ducks, no, I don't have any of them here with me. They are in the wool shop. So I think people will be delighted to see this new little one. And that is the rubber duck by Hugurumitoys on Instagram. And it was a free pattern. What other crochet adventures did we have with regards to Amigurumi? And I must admit that this one took me some time, which I was really happy about, because this is my first love when it comes to Amigurumi, and that is working with my acrylic yarns and my 2.5mm crochet hook. And I am slowly working through Erinna Lee's Amigurumi treasures. I have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them already. This was my 7th make off the hook. And I think all of the others have already gone. And there are still 7 more, I think, to make. So I'm really excited. Oh, we did already ahead of time. My next ones that I'm thinking of making is Lottie the Ladybug, because I haven't made that one yet, and Kenneth the Sloth. So anyway, that's future adventures. I did get Rex the Dinosaur off the hook, and here he is. And isn't he adorable? And I think I have a ruler here. He is about 19 centimeters, I think, just roughly. And I used a DK, although I think it's on the thin side, DK yarn in this beautiful caramelly color with an orange. I only had one each of these. It's snowballs DK, yes. And I used Charity variegated yarn for the scarf, and the Charity is also DK, but you can tell the difference between this DK and this DK. I mean, these stitches were really quite tiny, but these are the little characters that I love to make. So this was Rex the Dinosaur from Amigurumi Treasures by Erinna Lee, and it's just all those little details that we get to put on. The tummy patch, the teeth, which I think I had doubts about, but it turned out so sweet. She even guides you. I have made glasses before, but there are instructions on how to do that with some floral wire. The bag, I didn't do the way the pattern recommended. I did it in a bit of a faster, quicker way of just doing my rectangle, sewing up the sides, decreasing to make the flap, and then obviously you add the little button. So he's ready to find some treasures that he can put into his little bag. And I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed making him, and I'm hoping I get back to making these makes, because I enjoy the plush and the characters are really cute, but I also thoroughly enjoy working through these patterns and having these little characters come to life. Now, just to show the difference between this DK yarn that I pulled out and used I had with me the meerkat from the same book that I had made. Isn't he just too stinking cute? I only take characters to the yarn shop to be sold when I'm sort of ready to let go of them. And he was made last year sometime already. I just haven't been able to let him go. So this was the meerkat, and this was made out of Charity DK with a 2.5mm hook. And you can see the size difference between the two yarns that are DK. I always have to really try a yarn out when they say what it is, because sometimes when you're doing amigurumi, they just pull differently with the stitches. These ones I could see straight away made tiny little stitches, whereas with these, even if I crochet tight, the stitches still stay plump. They're not pulled too thin. And of course, this little one's jersey I made also out of an owl yarn. It was a proper jersey style yarn. And of course, his little fox emblem. And this is also from Amigurumi's Treasures with Erinna Lee. But I was quite surprised by the size difference on these two. That was little Rex. Oh, he's like my little soulmate. He's going to visit for a while here with me in my craft room. And then, what else was there? Oh, yes. I hope you all joined in Bear in a Box with Craftly Ever After. I have been having so much fun. I got to do a little bit of decoupaging. I found myself a box, and this was a serviette. I got my decoupage out and this pretty serviette, and I decoupaged a box, my Bear in a Box. And we have just completed week 3, so there's still another week to go. And the whole crochet along is available on Cassandra's blog. The PDFs are printable, and so many people all around the world have been showcasing their little bears, and it's just a treat to take part in such a creative amigurumi crochet along. There was the serviettes decoupaged into the inside of this box. Week 2 was the bedding. So I did create the little bed, and I had some sponge that I could put in there, so I was very fortunate. Didn't quite make it all the way, the sponge, but that's all right. And I had, because I cut some of it off to put in the pillow, so the pillow could stay flat as well. So this little bear has his pillow and his bed, and I made a colourful granny square for him, and this little window and picot border, which I had just seen Jill from Gumleaf Crochet and Yarn do on one of her projects. I just changed it up for fitting onto this little square, and I think it gave it rather a cute little edging. And of course the bear had a little throw pillow. I made this one in apple green and duck egg blue with a little facey on it. And it is a bear in a box, and bears love honey. And there's a bee plushie for our little bear. It's a tiny little thing. Absolutely wonderful. And then of course the bear. And you can make your bear sitting or standing, and I went with option 1, which was sitting. I was worried when I did the jeans would the bear still be able to sit, but she can sit still. It's too adorable. And of course, week 3 was the clothing. So I gave her jeans, her in-house slippers for sure, and a nice warm turtleneck turn down pullover. And she's quite comfortable in her box on all these winter days that we still have in the southern hemisphere. Now, I don't know how this happened, because I don't know if I had one of the other patterns around me when I was making this little bear. But from week 1, I did give her a little tail. And I didn't realize afterwards, I don't know if I need to pull out the other one. Anyway, so when I did the jeans, I had to just create a little hole for the tail, which is similar to how you create a hole for an arm. But that's all right. She is having a ball in her box with her blanket and her throw pillow and her bee plushie. So, one more week to go. Next week, Tuesday, we'll have part 4. And it's just been an absolute delight to be able to make a little gift like this. I think it's going to make a little girl very happy to have her own bear in a box. So thank you, Cassandra, for inviting all of us to take part in that. And I'd like to also just mention, because I had heard and then I totally forgot, Cassandra also has a printable hooked on coloring that you can print off. And I'm so glad I did print it off, because the illustrations, which are absolutely gorgeous, were done by Caitlin, who is the daughter of KS Mom Crochets. I might have that right. I think I have it correct. And she does the most adorable interpretations of Cassandra's amigurumis. And I did print off for me Binky the bunny. And I can't wait to try and color him in like Binky the bunny. So how wonderful is that when you have a free afternoon and you just need some downtime where you can let your thoughts flow and your fingers do the work with some coloring in pencils and not the crochet hook. So that's awesome. And that you'll also find on her blog. So those were my crochet makes over the last 2 weeks or so. And I do have some more patterns already printed off that I want to tackle, and not be afraid of the yarn that is new to me, that is still new to me, that's in my yarn bins. I just haven't pulled out yet, which is finally getting around to do Terry the Sea Turtle by Old Soul. You may remember I have done the tiny version out of acrylic, but I do plan on making Terry in some plush yarns, which my husband's already done the color palette on that. So I just need to find some time and we should get that off the hook. And then I came across another turtle pattern that I haven't done yet. This is Tiana. I think this is from All From Jade. So I need to get those plush yarns out and give that a crack as well. And then of course I'm pretty sure everybody is trying to catch up on hashtag Christmas Extravaganza 2025. A lot of my YouTube friends that I watch have been giving brilliant ideas of things to make, start making, think about, getting the supplies for, so that we have them in time for Christmas. And Pamela from Ginger Cat Crochet, in one of the vlogs that she had, she showed us a cat paws Christmas stocking. I did go and get the pattern printed off, and I'm going to change this to Milo's first Christmas stocking. It's his first Christmas, and I'll change the little fish to a bone applique that I have, and he won't be left out with a stocking full of treats come Christmas. So I'm glad I had that on my to-do list there. And then of course I have, gosh, I'm really setting myself up with quite a few makes here, aren't I? But I also have another lovey that I would really like to give a try. It's the Rusty line, and this is another pattern by Sarah D. I did print that one off for me, but I haven't chosen the colors for it yet. And then there was another plushy pattern from, this one's from Hobie. It's fox, yes, a fox lovey. It looks like that. So I certainly have set myself quite a few various projects that I would like to get off the hook over the next few weeks. And what else was it? Oh yes, my yarn, I am very pleased to say, has already found itself a home in tubs, in the cupboard, in my glass cabinet that just has my hundreds of charity balls. It's all logged into the computer, so as I take or finish a scan, I will take it off there, and then I should, in theory, know what colors I need to stock up on. And that's made me feel very productive and happy. So that's the update for now, folks. I hope you've enjoyed all the makes that we've had off the hook. And until I see you again, enjoy your crochet, have lots of fun. Happy crocheting!